Have you ever had the unsettling feeling that you've lived through this exact same moment before? The room, the people, even the specific topic of conversation. It all feels eerily familiar, yet you know for a fact you've never been here. This brain glitch is known as déjà vu, French for already seen. For centuries, people attributed this to past lives or psychic visions. But today, psychologists and neuroscientists view it as a window into how our memory systems function, and sometimes malfunction. On a standard psychological level, déjà vu is defined by a conscious clash. It involves a first-order feeling of familiarity triggered by something you perceive, followed by a second-order evaluation that this feeling is erroneous. You feel it's old, but you know it's new. This awareness is what makes it different from a simple false memory. In a typical false memory, you don't realize anything is wrong. Why does this happen? Scientists have proposed over 40 theories, but 4 stand out. First is dual processing. This suggests our brain's cognitive processes, which usually work in sync, briefly become asynchronous. One process might lag, causing the brain to interpret a single event as 2 separate, successive experiences. Second is the hologram or gestalt theory. This argues that if a new scene spatial layout, the arrangement of furniture or objects, matches an unrecalled memory, the whole situation feels familiar. Your brain recognizes a hologram of the layout even if it can't remember the original source. Third is divided attention. If you've taken a scene subconsciously while distracted, when you finally give it your full attention, it feels familiar because you actually just saw it seconds ago without realizing it. Finally, there is the neurological theory. This views déjà vu as a minor neuronal misfire. It is notably common as an aura or warning sign for people with temporal lobe epilepsy, where a burst of electrical activity in the hippocampus creates an intense, misplaced sense of familiarity. But here's where it gets interesting. Researchers are finding that not all déjà experiences are the same. We must distinguish between déjà vu already seen and déjà vécu already lived. Déjà vu is usually about a specific item, like seeing a person in the street and feeling you've met them before. Déjà vécu, however, involve a whole episode of experience. It is the overwhelming sensation that you are reliving an entire sequence of events. Some older theories, called achievement view, suggested that déjà vécu is a memory of the present, as if you are literally remembering the moment as it happens. However, modern researchers propose a more nuanced ability view. According to this view, déjà vécu isn't an actual memory. Instead, it's a metacognitive error involving an episodic feeling of knowing okay. It is a feeling that you could recollect the past occurrences of this moment, even though you ultimately fail to retrieve any specific details. You aren't remembering. You just have a very strong, yet erroneous, feeling that the information is there to be remembered. For most of us, these feelings are fleeting and benign, occurring more often when we are young, stressed, or tired. But for some, like a patient known as AKP, déjà vu becomes persistent. AKP suffered from an anosognossic form of the condition. He didn't just feel like things were familiar. He believed he had lived them before and would even refuse to read the newspaper because he thought he'd already seen it. Research using cortical stimulation has found that these intense sensations are often tied to the rhinal cortex and entorhinal cortex. Stimulating these areas can trigger classic déjà vu or even the reminiscence of whole scenes. So, the next time you feel like you've been here before, don't worry. You aren't a psychic and you haven't broken the space-time continuum. Your brain is likely just experiencing a temporary glitch in how it evaluates familiarity and potential memories. Déjà vu and déjà vu remind us that memory isn't just a recording. It's a complex, multi-layered system of evaluations that usually helps us navigate the world, but occasionally leads us into a strange, familiar mystery.